Hi guys, welcome back to the Space Age. In today's video, we're just gonna go straight into the message. So if you were drawn to this reading, we're gonna go ahead and get started with whatever messages you are meant to be here for today. So I'm gonna just start shuffling some of these cards for you guys, and we'll see where Spirit is taking us today. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords in reverse here. So I'm getting the sense for you guys that there is something that is shifting, something that is basically starting anew here with the way that you're thinking. This is a new paradigm. You guys are creating a new paradigm in your own thinking. I would say that this has to do with overcoming some form of regret. I'm hearing regret. Maybe changing the way that you think about things. This seems like overcoming self-punishment to me. Like you're no longer burdening yourself with self-punishment. Like you guys are just done torturing yourselves over stupid things, you know? I feel like a lot of times you guys might feel like just your mind just runs on autopilot, blaming yourself for everything. You know what's so crazy? I was driving in my car before I wanted to do this message, and I just got like this random inspiration to do this message. And I imagined, I was like, what if I sit down and do a reading after all of these months, right? And like a spider just crawled across this little table here, right? It's so funny because this is popping up right here, this spider, and I feel like this is a spider animal spirit that is coming through here. Because why was I thinking that? And then in my head, I was like, I'm going to cancel this thought because I do not want to invite any spiders here. But here we have it. So I feel like the spider spirit, I mean, from what I know about spiders, is spiders are actually just very ancient creatures. I think a lot of people don't tend to like them. I'm not particularly a fan. I go in and out of phases where I'm like, okay, I'm either going to crush this thing or take it outside. And I think as time goes on, I'm just going to keep taking them outside because I don't feel like we need to do that, you know, unless it's like hella scary. But maybe we can reflect on how this is in terms of your own life. The spider deals with taking things out, because spiders actually get rid of like excess bugs in your house, right? And then we have this Four of Cups in reverse here. Like I feel like a lot of you guys have been not feeling emotionally stable. And I feel like right now, this is what this Three of Swords in reverse is talking about. This is about you getting rid of whatever has been emotionally destabilizing you once and for all. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with regret. I feel like it's like, look at these cobwebs, right? This is like clearing up cobwebs. You see the cobwebs in the back right here? Like, this is like cleaning your house. You guys are cleaning your house, right? And then the Four of Cups, the typical Rider-Waite-Smith deck, has the picture of like this man sitting cross-legged under a tree, and there's a chalice being handed to him, and he doesn't really see that chalice because his eyes are closed and he's just not seeing the opportunity that's in front of him. He's thinking about what didn't work out, right? But there's also this meditative aspect to it. And I feel like this Four of Cups reversed is like you finally getting out of your own way and finally starting to see that you don't have to be lingering in that old energy. And I feel like, honestly, this spider here, I feel like you guys should research this spider energy. You were drawn to this reading. I can't believe that like this spider is coming up like first thing right out the gate, but it's communicating to you. And don't be afraid of the spider, really don't. Because sometimes when you're afraid of something, a particular spirit guide, an animal spirit, like let's say you're afraid of like, I don't know, bears or something, that might be like your spirit guide, right? Because for me, in my own personal experience, I don't know why, but as a kid, I was terrified of caterpillars. And at the same time, growing up, I loved butterflies. And so one of my animal spirits is the butterfly. And then it occurred to me, oh my God, butterflies come from caterpillars, which I was terrified of. So there's a lot of beauty in this. And then we have the Queen of Swords reversed. Do you see all these reversals? Do you know what this means? You are getting rid of some energy. And it's no question that as I'm doing this reading, and this is timeless, but that's the energy that is bringing on this reading. So it really applies to any time. We are, I think this is a full moon in Virgo that we are just in. It's starting to wane now, just starting, but this is really you guys letting go of like these limiting beliefs, limiting explanations to yourself. You don't need to explain why things are going wrong. You need to start explaining what's going right. This is about you reclaiming your story, not being a bitch to yourself anymore, not treating yourself with the lack of respect. You know, you don't need to do that anymore. And some of you guys are already on this path. You guys have probably already been like, I'm done. This is probably you already having cleaned house. You might have been doing this for a month, a year, 2 months. Why did I go back to 2 months? But a month, a year, 3 years. But you're actually starting to reap the rewards of all of this. You guys are very, very strong now. You've banished all of these things. Like these spiders are like literally cleaning your house, right? They're getting rid of all the bugs. Like you did this, right? And now all you have to do is like get rid of these cobwebs, you know? So I'm going to move to this other deck, this fairy deck that I really love. And I want to see what energy is being brought in now that you've let this stuff go. This is in the process of releasing itself. And you're never tied down to anything. So we have the Three of Summer. Okay, let me read this. News worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or births, friends you cherish. Okay, this is like the Three of Cups energy, right? So this is all about celebration. That, no kidding, you guys have really just cleansed everything. Like this is just like a cleansing. You guys are no longer sitting in the same energy. It's just like, it's time now for like, so those people that were in your life that were like trash, they're being replaced with people who aren't trash. We have this Three of Swords here in reverse, and though we have the Three of Cups or the Three of Summer here, and summer is like just around the corner. I mean, it just became spring at the time that I'm filming this, but it's like, I feel like this Three of Swords energy is being replaced with this Three of Cups. So you're going to have a new, like all those people, so those bugs, those insects that are being erased from your house are being replaced with like flowers, people bringing you flowers. So instead of having like insects, cobwebs, there's like rays of sunlight and rainbows streaming in. So there's like a lot of beauty that's coming into your life. How wonderful. Like we have like all these people celebrating, these fairies just dancing. So you guys might be dancing very soon. You guys might already be dancing. Honestly, when you hear a message and it's saying like you're going to be doing this soon, just claim that it's happening for you now. Only the best is happening for you now. I really do believe like it's what you're thinking now, right? And things change immediately. I think something popped out. The most important thing for you to see, we have life experience in reverse. Let me just say this. The most important thing for you to think about is that the second you're thinking something, things start to take shape. Just like that spider here. I saw that in my mind's eye. As I was driving home, I was like, should I be doing this? Because it's like really late. And I'm like, okay. But you know what? I was like, I just want to do this really late. Like, I don't know why. Like, I always get inspired to do this at night, but then like the lighting or whatever. But then I was like, okay, like, and I have like this red light. That's why it's kind of like pink here. But like, I have this red like therapy light. And I wasn't using it for like therapy thing. I was using it for like vain reasons, you know, like the whole red light therapy thing. But honestly, like, it's like such a soothing energy. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this reading. And like literally what I saw take place in my mind is taking place here. That's how quick it is, right? So when you claim something, claim it now and expect it now, right? There's no reason to create a whole story or a whole methodology or idea of something having to take place in this sort of manner. And I do this all the time myself. I think we all kind of fall into these patterns where we're like, okay, in order to achieve this, I must do this. And I feel like Spirit's like, no, like, you've gone through all the roughage, right? This is you guys going through the inferno. Oh, it's 11:11 on my little time clock. It just became 11:11 on the video time. You guys might think that you guys have to go through like more roughage. And sure, life is full of like these trials and tribulations and tests and stuff, or that's how it seems, right? And maybe that's just the story that we're saying, or that I'm saying, right? And, you know, we can always claim a new one. But you guys have gone through this inferno. And trust me, I know about the inferno, okay? This is all about embracing those lessons from the inferno and then essentially becoming the queen, taking all of it over, okay? I hate that like we have like this tendency to self-censor, but I ended up censoring myself anyway. So anyway, we have a life experience. I believe this is the Tower card in the tarot deck. I love how like this is like not really able to be seen in this lighting, but like I still love this lighting. So okay, so it says, let go of belief systems that no longer work for you, an important life-changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities. But this is in reverse. So this Tower is in reverse. Like I said, you guys have been cleansed by the inferno recently. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. You guys have been getting like the key out of, oh yeah, we have the Queen of Winter. Here we go again. This is the Queen of Swords, right? You guys have redefined yourselves as this new Queen of Swords, not the one that is very critical or trying to like, some of you guys are just such good people, and I totally resonate with like where you guys come from, where it's like you guys feel like this need to self-punish in a way, but you guys don't have to do that anymore. It's not required for you to do that. And if you have like this sort of compulsion to do so, it's time to break free of that. Start staking a claim in a better place. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. Now is the time to focus on your career, unmarried or divorced individuals. Okay, so that might be, some of you guys might have been going through that. That might be something that you recently went through, divorce or something like that. Some of you guys might not even know what that is because you guys haven't like gone through that experience, but like there might be some of you out there that might have just gone through that, and this is really like saying like, okay, Spirit knows that you went through this, but this is just like going through a lot of different things and then clearing out all of that toxicity. It's such an overused word, but it's the one that's coming up in my consciousness. So we're all going to have to deal with it. So, I kind of want to like move on to, I'll do these cards next. So I kind of want to go into these fortune cards really quick for you guys. Oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Okay, so let me shuffle these cards. So what is coming up for you? What forces are aiding you? What is working in your favor? All right. All right, we have the Maiden. A new relationship blossoms. That is so interesting. I wanted to do some like love cards just now, and then we have that divorce thing. So some of you guys might not have gone through a divorce, maybe just like a breakup, or maybe it has nothing to do with romance or something. Maybe it has to do with like some friendships, but I think it's the general energy of clearing past energies to create new energies in your life. So even if it's not people that you've cleared out of your life, maybe you didn't need to clear out people, but you're still going to get new people in your life, people that are going to foster this new energy, bring forth things that inspire you, inspire the new you, your new story. It's time for you guys to really embrace your new story and feel accomplished in it already. There's no reason to wait. I think the one thing that I can emphasize the most is that it's always important to be present. We have the Talisman. You are destined to succeed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone who's been through the inferno like this is destined to succeed. Because if you're making it out of the inferno, that means you had to do the work, and you did the work. And now you have this talisman, this good luck charm. So this is what's working for you. And this is the work that you did. No one else could take that from you, okay? This is the stuff that you took and claimed for yourself, okay? So, yeah. I feel like with the spider, it's like there's like this this gothic energy of like teaming up with like the, you know, spooky forces, but like they become your friend. I feel like that idea of like becoming friends with the things that you perceive as like, you know, the demons, rather than just like having fear struck into your heart, is like the sort of vibe that I get. Okay, then we have the Oracle. Seek wisdom and guidance from elders. I feel like this is kind of like this is saying like the people that are coming in now, like you can feel trust if you want to feel trust, because at the end of the day, with this Queen of Wands energy that's coming in now, it's like you can wield, like it's like you almost have like these subjects, not really like subjects, but it's like you are in control of your reality, your destiny, in such a way where it's like, honestly, you might not have even needed manifestation or anything like that. You might have just done it on your own. But the thing is, everything you've done now has primed you mentally, because we have this Queen of Swords, this Queen of Winter energy. It's about the fact that you've been mentally primed. That's why sometimes it's like when you're trying to bring something into your life, it's actually really good sometimes if you're struggling with a particular thing, to meet it in the middle. Like let's say you want to achieve a certain body goal, right? You might like eat a certain way, and that can go in either direction, whatever your body goal might be. Not that you even have one. Some people don't even care. But I'm just using that as an example. So let's say you have like a certain body goal. So that requires you to maybe like eat a certain way, exercise a certain way, do different things, sleep a certain way, right? And that's what the real world says, but you know that you create everything with your mind. But at the same time, like you've been trying to just create with your mind for so long, but when you finally start meeting it in the middle, you start noticing it's like, oh, I can sort of trick myself into thinking this is like, you know, because you're kind of dealing with your physical reality too. And I feel like this Queen of Winter here is saying you've done all the physical aspects of all of this to meet yourself in the middle, so you can meet it with like your logical brain, such that you can start creating in the mental plane, because the Swords energy is the mental plane, right? So now that you've done all of this stuff, it's like you can actually start working in the mental plane and seeing results. Because I think a lot of people, they get frustrated when they don't see a lot of results, you know? Oh, the key. Locked doors can now be opened. I'm not surprised this is coming up because you guys have really been cleansed by the Inferno, and the key imagery has been coming up a lot recently. Like like a week ago, I picked up like this random key. It looked like this, like a skeleton key. It was just on the ground, and I was like, Spirit, what does this mean? And I was like, okay. Or I talked to my higher self actually, and then I was like, okay, my higher self will answer, obviously. And I went to eat lunch, and then I came upstairs, and I was like, I borrowed this Sandman volume, by Neil Gaiman. He writes like this this comic. It's called, it's a graphic novel called The Sandman. You might have heard of it, but I had like volume 4 and 5 borrowed from my boyfriend for like, I don't know, months, and I hadn't read them. And I was just sitting there. I was like, let me just open this book. Not because I thought the answer would be in there. I was just like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And suddenly I was just struck with the inspiration to just finally read this book that was sitting there. The entire volume was watermarked with a skeleton key. And then the context of the actual story, because I started reading it, was that the main character, Dream, his name is Dream. He's like the god of dreams or something. And his name's like Morpheus, but he's also Dream. And he gets the key to hell from Lucifer in this, like, Lucifer from that TV show. I think it's the same comic book character for Marvel. But he gets the key to hell. And basically, like, the interpretation I got from that was like, and it's so crazy because I had like a dream that was like very parallel to this, but it's like, I feel like that's the reason why I was struck with this inspiration today, because so many, if you're like in this bubble, right? Like if you were drawn to this reading, it's because like there's like some kind of vibrational match here, right? And like there's some kind of message that I can convey to you through my experience, through my higher self energies and like my own thought process, to convey to you in a way that you might understand or like really gel with, I would say. And so I feel like what this is saying here is like, you now have got like the key to hell, not like in a, that sounds really like, I'll rephrase that, because like for me, I'm like, oh cool. But like for some people, they're like, oh my God. What I mean is like, you literally like have the key, the passage out of the Inferno. Like you're taken out of the Inferno. Like you now have passage out of this dark time that you've been in. And you might have already experienced that, because I told my viewers like that January, February 2022 would be like some epic stuff going on. And indeed it has been. Right? Like I haven't been on my channel in a bit, but it's like there's been some amazing stuff happening right now. Like it's been so nice, and you guys might have already started to experience that. But this is the time. It's here and now. Right? You guys have access to this key now. This is what you hold with you. Right? You literally now you reign. Like the Inferno has no power over you. It's like, I think it's the story of Osiris, I think. I'm not familiar with like, honestly, I should probably like, nah. I heard Sadhguru say recently that he doesn't read the ancient texts, and I've been slacking on the ancient texts myself, and I just don't have any desire to read them. And if he says that he doesn't read the ancient texts, I feel a lot better, but anyway, I think that's like the Osiris story, where it's like he can have passage to the underworld, and none of the creatures there bother him anymore, right? And it's like you're now moving into this state, or I'm going to just say you've already moved there. You're in this state now where you're like this queen of winter, right? Nothing can phase you now. Like you're icy cold. You're like, not icy cold, like as in like you're cold hearted, but it's like you don't react anymore, because I feel like a low consciousness, like human being is someone who reacts. And that's not like saying like, oh, like you're better than everyone. It's like, it's not about that. It's just saying like being in the higher levels of consciousness is you've experienced so much of the world, and that's what makes it so much more beautiful. That's what makes you so beautiful, right? So this Queen of Winter thing is like, you've been through it, and now you have the key. You can leave and you can come and go when you want, and nothing bothers you. Just like, I'm going to say Osiris goes down, maybe it's the wrong person. Maybe it's another god, but just like he goes into the underworld and nothing bothers him, right? He can go anywhere he comes, and he has friends there, whatever. It's all good. Like, you're no longer phased. And like, when things pop up in your reality, you just don't react to them anymore, right? There's no reason to react, right? And so you might even catch yourself wanting to react, and then you're like, oh, you know what? I can just choose not to anymore. And you know that you might have wanted to in the past, and then you can reflect coolly that you don't want to anymore. That's the power you hold now as you hold this key. You've unlocked new doors, new gates. You've really enhanced yourself as a person. And I'm proud. I'm proud of you for it. So let me shuffle some of these cards for you guys. Just see what some astrology stuff would be. Alrighty. And then we've got Leo, the lover. All right. Yeah, this is like I feel like this is your time to like shine, to play, to love, to be happy. I feel like a lot of readings will like just kind of say that's what's kind of going to happen for you, but I don't really see tarot as something that's going to happen. I see it as what's happening currently. And so it's about being present for you guys. I feel like the most important thing, if you guys don't already know it, is that if you are present, that inspiration, that natural creative energy, the feeling of freedom, letting go, being able to trust in what's going to happen for you, feeling like you're the center of like this vortex that's just bringing everything that you want to you. It's all about being in that present moment. And that's so generic, but why is it that like all of the people, the ancient teachers or whatever, they all say the same thing? And you might try to stray from it because you hear it so often, but somehow it ends up being the truth. That when you're present, when you're not in the state of desire, when you let go of desire, it's like, it's such a strange feeling of pain that desire is, isn't it? Isn't desire kind of painful? And it's not to say that you shouldn't want things, but to desire something can sort of be painful. Buddhist thought is that, desire, is like suffering, right? And suffering is so much of the world, right? And I think a lot of people, they unconsciously feed into desire. And it's like, your life is now. It's not in the, when you're desiring something, it's usually a state, and it's like the things that we love now, right? For example, there are a lot of things that I love right now, right? There are a lot of things that you love right now, things that you desired before that you eventually acquired, and you still love them and they still bring you joy, but you no longer desire them because you still want them, but you don't desire them because they're with you. There's no need to desire something that's with you, right? And with this energy here, I feel like it's trying to say, like, when you're desiring something, you're assuming that there's a state which you are now, or which you aren't now, that is better than your state now, right? And it's like, if you're present in your moment, you already have so many of the things you desired in the past, and you have them now, and those things bring you joy, right? And not all desire is the same level. Sometimes the things you want more are what cause the pain, especially if you felt like they were so far away from you. But everything is being given to you. Everything's being given to you, and it's because you put in the work. And it's also because you've learned all of these lessons that you might have even given yourself, and you're so much better for it. We have Virgo, right? Okay. The Alchemist. I like that. Leo comes before Virgo. Virgo comes after Leo. And I feel like this is time for you to just start, like, you're in this creative mode. Now it's time for you to harvest. You know, you're going to be in this creative harvesting phase. It's not like a one comes after, actually. It's like, this is where you're going to be, or this is probably where you currently are, right? You're in a state where you're like feeling really creative, and just respond to that, you know? Don't expect anything from it, right? I'm snapping my fingers. Don't expect anything from this. You know, just be in that state of thinking, creating, harvesting, right? And if you don't feel inspired, if you feel kind of like sluggish sometimes, don't worry about it. Don't force anything. Just do when it comes to you, right? Like, just respond immediately. That's really the key. Sometimes when you see something flash in your mind, just do it. And don't think just because it flashes in your mind that it necessarily means that you're going to gain something. You don't know what you're going to gain in the short term. It might be something long term that you're gaining from it, right? And so you might be like disappointed or something, but you might be gaining something in the long term that you might not see right away. So just respond to anything that like flashes in your mind, something that just comes across you. Just take that time, because it's actually your higher self communicating with you. And this happens if you start paying attention. This happens all day. It doesn't happen like every once in a while. This whole idea of people getting inspired every once in a while or whatever. No. Like, if you're listening, just even if you feel like you're not getting it, like any inspiration, just ask your higher self, show me some inspiration, and move on with your day. And shortly, something will pop up. Something will pop up and you'll just be in that flow. You're not supposed to try. There is no try. There's only do. Oh my God, I'm so sorry if you guys have been hearing my necklace clanking against my microphone. Oh my God. Let's do one last message. I kind of want this to like last forever. I just like want to keep going and going and going, but I think I'm running out of like card decks, so I should have grabbed more. I really do feel like just going on and like just saying as much as I possibly can. But I will just have to make another video tomorrow. Okay, we have a message that just fell right out. I love that. All right, here's your message. I'm going to read it up close to me so I can see it. Dearest you, there are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes a loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break open wide. Feel the loss and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, ever more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. Babes, I feel like this is so telling of like, I know that you guys have been going through this inferno. It might have been so long. It might have been a while, okay? It might have been a while. But you're coming out of it now. It's so crazy to go through something like that and then realize how strong you actually are, right? It's actually really crazy to think about it, but there's a reason why you're here on this message, and I feel like this is really telling. You leaving a situation that is not alignment with your highest good. I'm going to just tell you from my experience, you guys are here on this video, you guys are drawn here, so it's coming from me, right? And my experience with my own spiritual life journey, right? If you're not in alignment, things feel hard, right? And when you're in alignment, things feel easy. And it's not something that it's like you have to be bouncing back in and out. It's a balancing act. But once you start learning how to be in alignment, and that means following the cues of what you want to do and what you don't want to do, everything really does just fall into place. So if you guys are like sitting there and you guys are just exhausted, take a break if that's what you want to do, right? If you want to eat something, eat something. If you want to watch a show, watch a show. If you want to clean, clean. What's interesting is like, I think a lot of people think that if they just do what they want to do in every single moment, like if you just check in and be like, okay, how do I feel right now? You might think that you might just sit down and do nothing and watch TV all day. But that's not what happens. It might happen at first. And your inclination to think that, right? You might be inclined to think that, maybe you won't, but if you are inclined to think, man, if I just did what I wanted all day, I would just sit around and watch TV and do nothing and eat whatever I wanted or whatever, right? You would think that, but the reason why you're thinking that maybe is because maybe you're burned out, right? Maybe someone in that situation is just burned out. So maybe you do listen to that impulse, right? And then you're just sitting there, you're doing that, and now you're like, you start getting bored. You're like, I feel stiff. I'm tired of this show. I'm tired of looking at the screen. I want to go outside. I want to stretch. I want to, and then suddenly you're doing yoga. Suddenly you're cleaning your house. Suddenly you're starting your business. It all happens when you're living moment to moment to moment. Your life is happening right now, right? There might have been so much that, you've gone through, but that's your story. That's what makes your story so beautiful. I was thinking this the other day, right? I was walking and I was just like, just trying to be in my best shape for life, just in general, right? And in general, like I always like had like other like outside motivations for being like in the shape that I wanted. And then I realized like for future dates, like, okay, like, I need to be like, in shape at this time in my life or whatever. Like I've always generally just been in shape, but like in optimal shape, whatever. And I was just thinking, I'm like, oh my God, this is the movie of my life. Like there is no greater movie than the movie of my life. Like I'm the main character of my movie. This is your movie right here, right now. You might see yourself right in this moment from an outside perspective, you watching a video on YouTube, looking down at yourself, seeing yourself watching this from the third person, right? And just have that moment to just think like, holy cow, like this is my movie. This is my movie. And that's not to say like you're like, we're all in union with each other and we all are, just specks in this huge vast universe connected, but we're connected to everything. We're all connected. So it's not about leaning into like some kind of narcissistic perspective. No, it's just about like realizing like you are amazing. This is your life. You are like obligated to take care of yourself on a moment to moment basis. And trust me, if you are present with yourself and you just follow what you want to naturally do, everything will get accomplished. No stone will be unturned, and it'll happen a lot faster than you think. And if you train your brain to constantly be thinking in the present moment, it will happen, and life becomes so magical, so amazing. Okay? Trust me, trust that, trust yourself, okay? I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.